House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan explains why his committee is investigating Fulton County DA Fani Willis. Here's One America's John Hines.
Mr. Chairman, Chairman Jim Jordan, I know that the House Judiciary Committee now, under your direction, has issued a subpoena to Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis for documents pertaining to the situation where she may have misused federal funds. Where is this going, sir?
Well, $14.6 million went to the Fulton County DA's office, federal funds, and so we want to know, did you misuse those funds? We've been asking that question in letters we've sent to her. She won't respond, so we sent her a subpoena, but we've sent the subpoena after a whistleblower came forward, this Ms. Timpson, who used to work in the office, and Ms. Timpson believes that federal grant dollars were in fact misused by the DA's office there. So we want to know. Frankly, we've sent her a lot of correspondence in light of this whole situation with Nathan Wade, the guy she paid almost $700,000 in a 26-month time frame. The guy who was working to go after President Trump, coming to D.C., talking with the January 6th committee, the Justice Department, it looks like, in the White House. So we got a number of questions, but we started with this subpoena to get documents relative to the $14.6 million federal grant dollars that were sent to the DA's office.
So is this just a starting point for your, are you actually doing an investigation now, Fani Willis?
Well, I mean, you could call it that, I guess. We want to investigate, was this money misspent, particularly in light of the whistleblower who came forward and it was reported on late last week and has alleged that in fact dollars weren't used in the way they were supposed to under the grant guidelines. So that's something we're looking into, and there's of course a host of other issues that are of concern here. First and foremost is the ridiculous action she's brought against President Trump and all these other defendants in the case. We want the correspondence, we want the information, the documents that we've asked for in the subpoena.
One of the items in your correspondence, I believe, with the attorney Nathan Wade, I'm not sure it's necessarily quite a query you asked of Fani Willis, but I think it was Nathan Wade, was about some of his billings for his attorney work. And some of the billings you pointed out were maybe curious. I think meetings with the White House, and then also meetings regarding the J6 committee. Is that potentially like a conflict of interest? I mean, should a local DA be involved in a congressional, this was run by the Democrats, of course, well, J6 panel?
I mean, he can probably ask for the information. We're just curious how this all played out. And plus, we have, I think, certainly a federal concern with tax dollars, federal tax dollars that may have been used in this. And there's concerns that we have on legislation that we think may need to be done to correct problems where you have a state DA going after a federal a person running for a federal office, the highest office in the land. So, like for example, we have a colleague on our committee who's introduced legislation that you can deal with venue, move things to federal court, move things to the different locations. So that's something that's a legislative concern we have too. So there's all these concerns we have in the way this investigation was conducted, and now we hear all the concerns being raised relative to Nathan Wade by this whistleblower. So that's why we're looking into it all.
Does it bother you also that maybe she was having a personal relationship with this person at the time? Is that a patent conflict of interest potentially?
Well, it sure seems like it, but we haven't even got into that. But I think that's a concern people have, and that I know the state of Georgia is looking into it as well because there's state money involved in paying the salary for Mr. Wade while he's coming up here to Washington. I think one of the billing records, based on what we saw, looked like he worked 24 hours straight. Build a 24-hour. So
is that possible?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm sure people have done it from time to time in life when you're really busy. But you wonder if he came all the way to D.C. and he really build things 24 hours straight and work 24 hours straight. So that was one of the questions I think we asked in one of the letters. She didn't really respond to that, or he didn't really respond to that through her office. But again, the one we sent last week was not just a letter asking for information; it was a subpoena.
Would Fani Willis potentially be appearing before your committee as well?
Well, we never take anything off the table, but right now we'll see what kind of compliance we get with the subpoena.
Chairman Jim Jordan, thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Take care.
Always a pleasure.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.